In this lesson, we're going to do a little overview of the UScript interface. We're going to talk about events, functions, and variables. These are common phrases in programming, and they're also existent in visual programming. So first of all, let's look at UScript. If you don't have UScript open, all you need to do is go to the Tools menu, choose UScript, and open up the editor. You can also open it by using Control and U. So in UScript we have our toolbox, which is where all of our functions, our events, and we can create variables in here as well. Notice that we also have a nice little handy search bar where we can search for things, and we will be using this for 99% of the time. At the top we have a File menu where we can save our graphs, we can save our scripts. We can also open up scripts as well. At the bottom we have properties for various nodes. We have some information or tooltips on how to use nodes, and we have a collection of our graphs. So UScript is a collection of graphs. What you're seeing in front of you is the main graph window for a particular script or graph. And to kind of navigate, we just simply use our middle mouse button, and we can zoom in and out by using our scroll wheel. So that's a little bit about UScript. Let's now talk about some of the nodes. Nodes are all found within here. These are all of the nodes that we can use. And we have events, functions, and variables. Another name for functions is actions. What is the action? So first of all, events. What are events? Events are the things that trigger something, that something will happen. So an event could be when the game starts. An event example could be when the level starts. An event example could be after a certain time, or when a controller or a control on the keyboard, mouse, or controller is pressed. So those are examples of events. It's when a particular thing happens. An action, on the other hand, is the thing that actually happens. And typically actions will, in fact, they always follow an event. So you have an event, and then you have the action. Actions, there's so many of them, but here are some examples. An action could be to spawn an object, so we could spawn our bullets. An action could be to play a sound, or it could be to turn off or on a light. It could be to move an object, rotate an object, scale an object. It could be to load a level. It could be to adjust the volume on a certain object. So those are some examples of actions. Actions are the thing that happens, and actions always follow an event. So an event is the trigger, and an action is the thing that happens. Then we have things called variables, and it's probably a name you've heard before if you've done any form of things to do with games, or it's probably just a word you've used before as well. A variable is a blank piece of data that we can use, and there's lots of them. There's lots of little variables we can use. So a variable could be a number, a variable could be a color, a variable could be a position on X, Y, and Z. A variable could be a rotational value. And a variable could also be a game object. And we can store these pieces of data to work alongside our actions. Here's an example. We could have an event to say at the start of the game we want to wait 2 seconds and then we want to move the player. So you would have an event which would be on game start. We could then have an action called delay. Following that, we could have a variable with the number, let's say 2 seconds or 2 in it, and the variable will tell that action how many seconds to wait. And then we could have another action called move, and we could have a variable inside that which will contain a position, how many units to move on X, Y, and Z. So a combination of events, actions, and variables will create our script. Just have a little look here. I'm going to show you an example script that we could do. So I'm going to first of all type in graph, and I'm going to choose a graph event. So this is the graph event means that whenever this graph is enabled. So on graph enable, we're going to have an action called delay. And I just simply click on delay, and here we have a delay node. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a new variable, and I'm going to add a float variable. A float variable is a number that has a floating point, and a floating point is simply a decimal place. So in this variable we could say, well, the value is going to be 2.5, so that is 2.5 seconds. We could hook this variable up to the duration of our delay. So this delay is going to wait for 2.5 seconds. And then what we could do is we could use an action called translate. Translate is another name for move. Okay, and we want to move an object in, let's say, the forward value, which we all know is z. So we're going to make another variable, and we're going to choose float, and we're going to hook that up to the z value, and we're going to say move a particular object, let's say 30 or 50 units, let's say. Actually, that's quite a lot. We'll do about 5. Okay. We also need to tell the transform node, or the transform action, what do we want to move? Well, we could add a variable. So we can right click, add variables, and we could say a very specific game object. And we just hook that up. Now, for this game object, what we can do is later on we can actually pick a value in here. So we could say pistol, like so. And then what's going to happen is we then link these up. So on graph enable, we're going to throw in a delay. After the delay, we're going to transform, aka move, the pistol game object by 5 units on the Z. And that is our script done, from the event to the actions utilizing variables. Okay, so that is a little bit on how visual scripting works, in fact how scripting works in general. So don't worry if that kind of went over your head. Hopefully you understood it, but if not, we're going to be doing this or putting it into practice in the next lesson. So I hope you got something out of that lesson, and I will see you in the next one.